right. I think we are live, if I'm not mistaken. I hope so. I've never done this before. So if you guys are watching this, what's going on? It is Anthony A. Perez, and I'm going to be doing, my first ever live stream here. I did a video a while back where I asked you guys to ask me questions, and I was going to do one of my Q&As. And I ended up kind of not doing it. I just took forever to get around to it, and those videos take me a while to get around to editing, and sometimes it take a while to edit overall. But I just wanted to go ahead and take a chance to go ahead and do it, and I finally answer some of your questions. So this will be, I think, the first unedited video on my channel. I'm just gonna kind of go for it and just talk to you guys. Feel free to comment and engage with me, guys. But I'll go ahead and start with the first question. It's from Max Talks Movies, and he says, "Hey Anthony, I've got three. The first one is what would be your tagline for your channel if it wasn't about movies, TV, and Star Wars? If you had to choose something different instead of Star Wars?" I really don't know. Maybe music related. What's going on? The Gasper, thanks for stopping by, man. I really don't know. Maybe music. If you guys have been watching my channel for a little bit, I did a video where or a series of videos where I did it with the Big Rob Theory, and we just talked about the fact that, we used to be in a band, and we used to play music, we used to perform live, and I was really excited about that. I was really excited to do that whole band thing, and then it ended up just not happening. It fell through, and so I probably would do something music related if I was to do something with this channel, but yeah. And the Gasper said, "Did you just subscribe to my channel?" I think so, man, but I'll check after this. I'm pretty sure I did, though. Max Talks Movies also asked, "What's your most rewatched movie, no matter how good or bad it is?" I would just say the Star Wars movies as an overall. Whenever I watch Star Wars, I just never get tired of it. It's a franchise that I have watched each and every installment dozens and dozens and dozens of times. I would say the newest ones are the ones I've seen the least, but I would say the Star Wars movies on an overall are the ones that I have watched the most times. He also asked, "What is the most unique and worst experience you've had at the movie theater?" Most unique, I don't know. I used to work at a movie theater, so I've had so many experiences at movie theaters, good and bad. I would say that the most unique, I can't really even think of what's it called? I can't even really think of the most unique one. But the worst ones at any time for me, or anytime there's a baby or anybody talking in the movie theaters. Now, the people talking in the movie theaters, without a doubt, is obviously the one that everybody hates that, right? Nobody wants people talking in the movie when you just paid for a movie theater ticket. It's the worst. But I would say that babies crying are probably my least favorite thing. It's just definitely always, it ruins the experience for me, because it's one thing to have somebody talking. Maybe they eventually will realize that they're talking too much and that they're kind of being a little bit annoying. But then, when they just keep on with a baby and the baby's just going on and the parents not taking them out, that's got to be some of my least favorite things that ever happen in movie theaters. So big thanks to Max Talks Movies. I appreciate your question, man. And get some of these comments right here. Trav Tries, what's going on, bro? Thanks for watching. Danny Boss, you ever put any musical videos online? I don't have any music videos per se, but if you go into my playlist, I have a section there where it's called Sentence to Life, My Old Band, where me and the Big Rob Theory, who was the guitarist of my band, we just kind of talked about a bunch of different songs that we wrote for an EP, and then we had the song play at the very end. So if you guys are interested in checking out one of those songs, or my old band in general, definitely go ahead and check out that playlist, because it's pretty cool. It's fun to go back and reminisce on some of these older and cheesy songs that just don't 100% hold up. But Cinematic Tendency says, "First time going live," correct? Yes, it's thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. But this is my first time going live, so hopefully you guys aren't bored throughout this. And then the Gasper says, "Can you give me a shout out?" Big shout out to the Gasper right there. If you guys want to check out his channel, go ahead and do that. And then Distance Pops, a friend of mine, says, "Of course I'm coming in and you're talking about Star Wars." Of course. My favorite collab of what sort? If you're still watching Distance Pop, definitely let me know what kind of collab it is that you're talking about, and I'll definitely answer that. Then I got a question here from Jacob Martin. He asked, I got a couple questions. Which Disney series are you most excited to watch? I think without a doubt, if you've been watching my channel, The Mandalorian, Clone Wars, the Star Wars related things are really the main reason that I'm excited about Disney Plus. there's so many great things. There's a bunch of really great Marvel shows that are coming out that I'm crazy excited for. And I would say that, yeah, for sure, the Star Wars stuff is the stuff I'm the most excited for. I'm really excited for the Kenobi series. After what Deborah Chow did with those 2 episodes she directed in The Mandalorian, I think without a doubt, this Kenobi show is something that I'm incredibly excited for. And I think most Star Wars fans are really excited to see Ewan McGregor return to the role. And then Distance Pop said, for your reviews, my favorite collab for your reviews, for my reviews. I don't know. I've done so many really great ones. I really enjoy the recent ones I've done with Rashaji Reviews and Q Reviews. Also, let me know in the comments there if this is cutting out at all. I want to know if the reception is good in here, or the Wi-Fi is good enough. If I've been cutting out, definitely be honest about that. I definitely want to know. And yeah, as far as my favorite collabs reviews, I have such a great time with all of them. It's really hard to pick one, to be honest. But yeah, I love doing stuff with the Big Rob Theory. The Big Rob Theory and I go back to 6th grade is where we first met. And so, yeah, we've been in a bunch of collabs together, and those are always a lot of fun. Anytime I could do stuff with people in person is always really exciting. But as far as like recent reviews, I've loved the ones I've done with Blacktastic News. We recently did one for Rush Hour and also for Undercover Brother. And then I did one with Rashaji Reviews and Q Reviews recently for Jason Lives, the 6th Friday the 13th film, which was fun to go back and watch and kind of just do that with those guys. So yeah, that'd probably be my answer for that. Jacob Martin also asks, has there been a film that you were blown away by in theaters and on constant rewatches you enjoy it less and less? Man, that's tough. That's a tough one, because if you guys have been watching this channel for a while, you know I'm a pretty positive guy. I don't really necessarily like to dig into movies and rip into them because I just enjoy watching movies. I have such a great time with them that I'm, if it's bad, if it's maybe sometimes a little cheesy, if the CG isn't always the best, I'm a lot more forgiving of those kinds of things. So as far as something that just, kind of blew me away in theaters and kind of just got worse upon rewatches, if I have to think of one off the top of my head, I guess one that I saw in theaters and really enjoyed a lot less with each rewatch would probably be Suicide Squad. I still enjoy the film. I reviewed it all here on this channel, and I have a lot of positive things to say about it. But when I saw it in theaters, I wasn't necessarily blown away, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot more than a lot of the reviews were saying. But then when I have watched it over time, I've realized that the movie, outside of the really cool action, is pretty hollow. Worst Review says, hey man, what's up? Hey, what's going on, man? I'm glad that you could stop by and watch with this video. But yeah, to answer that question, Jacob, that would probably be what I'd say. And then the last question he asked is, were there any movies which emotionally traumatized you as a child to where you're still scared to revisit it as an adult? No, I'd say the closest one that I've had would probably be maybe The Exorcist. I think that's just something about the imagery, the music, the overall feel and vibe of that movie that just feels unsettling. I watch horror movies all the time. Demon-possessed films don't really scare me. None of that kind of possession, demon in the house really freaks me out. But something about The Exorcist, that upside-down walk that she does down the stairs, the look, the vomiting, the voice, the music, the tone. There's something about that film that's just unsettling. And even though I haven't watched it in a while, but I have watched it in my adult years, and it's still unsettling. But it's nothing that will ever traumatize me to the level of never returning. Daniel Hernandez says, what's good, BB? He said, what's the next big video you've been wanting to make? By the way, Daniel Hernandez, good friend of mine, really, really talented guy. If you guys have been watching the videos that I do with animated reviews, anything that has like the drawn version of me in the thumbnails, Daniel is actually the one who drew those of me. So if you guys go into Instagram, look up Daniel Joseph, or if you look up on Twitter, I'm right off the top of my head, I'm not sure what it is his Twitter handle is, but Daniel Joseph, really talented guy. Danny, if you want to, go ahead and leave your Instagram information there in the chat so people can check it out. But a really talented guy. I have in all of the description boxes for all the videos that have thumbnails that he has been a part of, I have all the information. You guys can check him out. Really awesome guy. As far as the video that I've been really wanting to make, man, I love making these collabs with people. So I'm just looking to make more collabs, and I'm really dying for the world to open up again so that I can get back into vlogging. I like being able to go out and vlog, give you guys a little bit of piece of my life without it just being me kind of editing a conversation or discussion about a movie. I really do enjoy that fun stuff where you can kind of just go out and be yourself and be caught in the midst of what's happening in the real world. And then when you go back and edit it, there's so many little funny moments with your friends and stuff like that, that even if some people can't get it or understand it 100%, it's always fun and just interesting to go back and watch. I go back and watch my vlogs all the time, and even if there's really cheesy or they mean more to me than they would to random viewers, those are the videos that I tend to have more fun with. So that would be my answer to that. And of course, Danny, bro, I will shout you out to the end of time, dude. You're crazy talented, man, and I do not say that lightly. And then Prodigus T says, "Hey Anthony, what's happening?" And he says, "That's awesome. Did you hear the news of Disney opening up early?" Yeah, man, I'm really curious to see what they do. I live here in Orlando, so I'm not too far from Disney World. And, there's kind of been this up in the air thing about how they're going to open, when they're going to open. I don't exactly know when it is they're going to open, but, I'm excited to go back to Disney World when they do. But, of course, we all have to be, gotta kind of pay attention to what's going on in the world. It's a little crazy out there right now, a little dangerous. And I definitely don't want to kind of jump out there and just be doing everything right at the very start. So we'll see what happens once things open up. But I am excited to go back to Disney once they open up again. And then Cinematic Tendency says, will you be reviewing The Invisible Man soon? I definitely want to check it out. Really bummed that I missed it. I had tickets to see it and ended up missing it in theaters because something came up. And then literally the next week is when everything started shutting down for this whole coronavirus thing. So definitely a big bummer. I'm really looking forward to seeing that movie whenever I get the chance, but don't worry, that will be coming. Dude, I watched The Exorcist Director's Cut in theaters. That night I was alone at home. Bad combo. Yeah, man. Definitely something that is, a creepy movie. It's something that's eerie. It's something it's incredibly well acted. It's very well done. And it's something that definitely leaves you unsettled. And I definitely would love to go back and revisit it, do a review here on this channel. I think the last movie that I saw in theaters that definitely left me feeling really uncomfortable would probably be, I have to say, probably The Passion of the Christ, which I did a review for on this channel, which surprisingly is my most viewed video on this channel. But The Passion of the Christ, I saw it in theaters when I was a kid when it first came out. My mom really wanted me to see it. I grew up in a religious household, and all the scenes with Satan and the demons and all that kind of stuff was just so uncomfortable and eerie to me, and I didn't sleep well that night. I remember watching VeggieTales when I went back home that night, and that was definitely something interesting. Distance Pop for sure. I definitely missed out on Invisible Man. Such a bummer. I really wish I would have gotten around to it. Sucks so bad that I missed it. And then literally the next week, it was not even a full week later that I had tickets, couldn't make it to it. I was like, all right, I'll just rearrange my A-list ticket, for the movie, and then ended up missing it. Such a bummer. Prodigus AT says, "Oh, that's awesome. You're in Orlando. If you don't mind me saying, once this all blows down, would you want to collab and meet up at Disney World sometime?" Yeah, man, for sure. We'll definitely connect. You can always add me on Instagram. My handle is, the @ symbol and then AA Perez 0615, or actually no, it's the AA Perez if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I take that back. The AA Perez on Instagram. You can message me there and we can definitely try to connect, man. The next comment or question that I have here is from Tevya Smolka. I always never know if I'm saying that correctly. But yeah, his first question is, what's your most anticipated movie, video game, or comics of 2020? As far as the comics go, it's always the Star Wars stuff. I just am super excited to always see new Star Wars stuff in general. And so there's a lot of new cool Star Wars stuff that has been coming out. They just finished up the Kylo Ren series, which I thought was really cool. And I'm excited to see what's coming next. As for movies, all the main big ones, there's not really anything that I'm not excited for, to be honest. There's some that kind of just look like whatever, but for the most part, I'm really excited to finally see the Black Widow movie. I know that later this year, I'm kind of blanking right now. I know that Scoob movie is actually coming straight to VOD. They're skipping theaters. I'm actually excited to see that because I love Scooby-Doo. But yeah, I would say majority of the movies this year I'm pretty excited to check out. The second question is, who is your favorite character within the Marvel, DC, or indie comic series from the past decade? My favorite are Spider-Girl, Mayday, Mayday Parker, Jonathan Samuel Kent, Superboy, the son of Superman, and Lois Lane, and finally from the image, it's Invisible Mark Grayson. Man, my favorite of the last decade. That's really hard, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, I don't really have an answer off the top of my head. There's just too many. I really suck. I've said this in other videos, but I really suck with having any definitive thing. Anytime anybody asks me to rank something or to just pick a definitive favorite or least favorite, I really suck at picking things like that because it's always changing for me. I'm the kind of guy who, like, upon rewatches and different things like that, my opinions on these kinds of things are consistently changing. So yeah, I'm sorry to give you that kind of lame answer, but that's what I gotta say. And then his next question is, what is your favorite game, movie, or comic of 2019? My favorite movie of 2019, I want to say it's up there with either Rise of Skywalker or Endgame. Just as far as feels for me, Endgame wasn't not Endgame. The Rise of Skywalker wasn't my favorite of this newest Star Wars trilogy. So I would say on an overall, probably Endgame. It was just the one that I felt the most emotional about. But I saw a lot of really great movies this year that really just stand out as like these little small films that didn't really blow up in a huge way, but I had such a great time with them. Specifically, a movie like Blinded by the Light, which was a really good, feel-good movie that I really enjoyed this past year. So that's always really tough to just nail down, to be honest. But yeah, again, I suck at picking a favorite of anything. I don't think I played any games that released in 2019. I'm always playing games that came out like the year past because I don't really have like anything that kind of makes me feel like I need to rush to buy anything new. But I am excited about the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla that looks really, really good. And then his final question is, I'm just wondering if you would be up for a collaboration video someday on My Hero Academia, the movie, the new one that just came out, Heroes Rising. Yeah, for sure. I need to catch up on the show first before I can get there, but I would totally be down to do that for sure, Tevya Smoko. So for sure, thank you. I appreciate the questions, man. Let me try to catch up on the questions here. Let me see. He said, have you ever watched a movie so bad you never want to review it? No, I think if a movie is really bad, I want to review it immediately. I want to talk about it as much as I physically can because I love talking about bad movies. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, movies like the Chucky series, or I'm recently doing the Friday the 13th, the Jason movies. There's just something about these schlocky, just over-the-top cheesy films that are really, in a lot of ways, not great, that just bring me so much joy that I can have so much fun with. There's so many films that can be good for being bad, or films that are almost purposely bad that are really funny. A really good example for me is a movie that I want to review on this channel, which is Kung Pao, which is like a parody, like kung fu film, and it's just so hilarious, so over the top, and in a lot of ways, technically, it's bad, but it is hysterical, and it's a movie that I really enjoy. So I don't think there's a movie that I've ever really watched that has been like flat out bad. Let's see. And Danny said, dude, that Kylo Ren series was so good. Yeah, man, it was really good. I really enjoyed the comics. The artwork was phenomenal, and the story was cool. It's stuff that I really wish we would have been able to see on screen, but I really, really enjoyed being able to see, that his story and these new characters that were interjected into his origins to kind of show us that Ben Solo. There's so many layers to that character. Whenever I hear somebody say Kylo Ren or Ben Solo in general was just kind of like the emo guy, I just feel like it's just such a surface level way to see the character. He has so many layers, and it's just something that I thoroughly enjoy. And question to you guys really quick, if you can comment there. On my screen, because this is the first time I'm live streaming, the comments are coming over my face. So is that happening on YouTube side? If not, I definitely want to know. Definitely comment below. I hope the comments aren't coming over my face. And they said, do you think you'll review The Rise of Skywalker or no because of how many people have already reviewed it? I already reviewed The Rise of Skywalker. I don't think you've been watching my channel up to that point, but yeah, if you go back to when The Rise of Skywalker reviewed, or when that first came out, I do have a review up for it, so you guys definitely check that out. I even did a spoiler review with Rashad G Reviews and Q Reviews, which was really cool. Sounds like Beverly Hills Ninjas. I've never seen Beverly Hills Ninjas, but if it's something like Kung Pao, I'd love to check it out for sure. And Distance Pop says nope, so I'm going to assume that the nope is for the part that I asked about the words coming over my face, so that's good. All right, let's see. Moving on to the next question. Mr. Blue asks, let's see, what movie has your favorite plot twist? Man, that's a good one. It would have to be something that really, it's tough, right? I would say my favorite plot twist, if you have no idea about Star Wars, would be the whole Luke, I am your father from, or no, I am your father from Vader. I think that's such a great scene. Anytime anybody has watched that scene for the first time, anytime I've ever been able to show Star Wars to somebody and they've never known about that, it's super exciting. But yeah, outside of that, there's just so many. It's so tough to really pick like a favorite plot twist. Again, anytime anybody asks, I always feel like I suck because anytime somebody asks me, favorite this or least favorite that, I just don't know how to pick an answer because, man, how many movies are we getting a year? It's just ridiculous to pick a favorite in anything personally, and I just rather talk about what I liked about what came out rather than pick a favorite, if that makes sense. What's going on? News to Astonish, my boy Ronnie. We actually did some videos together back at Florida SuperCon this past year, which was really awesome. You guys can go back and check those out. He asked, are you going to be live streaming more often? That is the intention. I would definitely like to do that. So you guys are checking out this background. It's not well lit right now. There's definitely a lot going on that I need to refix. This is an old standee right here of Obi-Wan from episode 1. This is from 1999. It's been sitting in a garage. And I just actually moved into a new apartment, and I have a whole new setup here. It's all a disaster. What you guys can't see behind the camera is boxes and just a disaster everywhere. But I just recently put up this, and yeah, I'm gonna have a new setup behind me. I'm trying to actually have like a more official setup behind me. I just moved out of my family's house, and I'm living with my girlfriend here, Haley. So everything should be changing as far as quality soon. So yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think about that. But yeah, what else was the next question here? Let's see. Do you have pets? Currently, no. At the moment, when I was living with my family, I have just family pets. We have 3 cats and 2 dogs, but I no longer live with those animals. So technically, right now, I do not have pets. Let me see. He said he has an excellent arc from The Force Awakens to Rise of Skywalker. Is great and one of the best things about The Rise of Skywalker. I agree. I think everything with Rey and Kylo was definitely some of the best stuff in The Rise of Skywalker. You know, you can there's definitely stuff to cherry pick, or not cherry pick, but just nitpick at each and every single one of Star Wars movies in general, but especially the new stuff. But yeah, as far as the one character that's just kind of like is the rising star of the whole new trilogy, without a doubt, it has to be Kylo Ren, because when you think about all of the Star Wars movies prior, I love Darth Vader. One of my favorite Star Wars or movie characters of all time. Darth Maul has gone on to become so great in the comics and the books and the Clone Wars and Rebels, and it's great to see him in Solo, and there's so many other great characters. Palpatine is one of the best villains of all time. But Kylo Ren for me was great because when they went into this new trilogy, some people think, oh, he wasn't as good as Vader. And I think that's the point, right? I think the creators realized there was no way they were going to be able to create a villain that was going to be better than Darth Vader. And so why not create a villain that is so enamored and so in love with the fact that Darth Vader is who he is, that they want to be him. You know, it's this character that's broken. He wants to be this dark Sith, but in the end of the day, he's battling with the light, right? And I think that we've never seen that battle between the light and the dark like we have with his character. I think that the battle that you see within him is what you always hear about. Even with the character like Anakin, you slowly saw those little breadcrumbs of darkness across the Clone Wars and Attack of the Clones and into Revenge of the Sith, but it's really just his love that makes him just kind of flip over at the end. But I think when you look at a character like Ben Solo, it was a slow progression, and in the midst of his darkness, he was constantly fighting. You know what I mean? Like, you really see that internal turmoil and that conflict that you always hear. It's almost like it was eating away at him, and I love that. Especially in The Last Jedi, there's this great line from Snoke when he tells him to take that stupid thing off, referring to the helmet, and he pretty much tells him, like, you know, like the killing your dad it just broke you in half. You know what I mean? You're wearing this mask to kind of like act tough in a lot of ways. It's just something to hide who he truly is, this broken character on the inside who really doesn't know where he stands in the story. And I really love that about the character, and I really enjoyed his arc. So I'm going to move on from that now. I know I just rambled on for a second. Let me answer some of these things right here. Cinematic Tendencies. Hey, Anthony, are you in Letterboxd? Letterboxd? If not, I recommend it. Great tool to log the movies you watch. I am not, but I should definitely check that out. I appreciate that. Distance Pop. Sleepaway Camp had an incredible plot twist. It's one of those cheesy slasher films, but the ending makes it. I've never actually seen it, but I need to check it out. I appreciate the recommendation. Sleepaway Camp. Prodigist T. I'll make sure to catch up on your content. Also, Beverly Hills Ninja stars Chris Farley and sort of a cheesy parody-ish film with Kung Fu. You know what? Now that you say that, I'm seeing like the poster in my head, and I may need to go ahead and check that out as well. News to Astonish. Congrats on the new place. Also, you're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I know, man. I'm trying to catch up to you. I'm trying to catch up to some of these other friends I've made here on YouTube. But yeah, man, I really do appreciate all the support from all of you guys. One average person. I just answered your question about pets. I believe that's what you asked. Yeah. Do you have pets? I'll go ahead and answer again. I do not currently have pets, but I did have pets before. But thanks for stopping by, and yeah, thanks for the congratulations on almost 1,000 subscribers, man. I really do appreciate it. News to Astonish. Let's go on to the next question from my buddy Benny Wan Kenobi, who is actually the last video I did a collab with. We did Rob Zombie's House of 1,000 Corpses. If you guys want to know what we thought about that movie, go ahead and check that out. But that was a fun video to go ahead and put together. He asked me, what is your favorite gaming console, past or current? And let's go ahead and answer that first. Favorite gaming console? past or current. I currently play the Xbox. I know a lot of people are PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. I don't care what you play on. If you're playing games, you're already winning. I personally prefer the Xbox because I just like the way the controller sits in the hand. Majority of my friends are on Xbox. I'm a big fan of the Gears of War franchise, and I'm a big fan of like Halo, and so that's just kind of like calls to me. But man, I can't tell you how many hours I've spent back on the day on like things like the Sega Genesis or the NES or the SNES. My first console that I got as a kid that was my own, that wasn't passed down to me, was the Nintendo 64. I spent so many beautiful hours on that, so it definitely holds a special place in my heart. And then the PlayStation 2. I mean, PlayStation 2 is really where I want to say I went from being a kid who loved video games to being somebody who was genuinely going to make this a hobby. I spent so many hours playing video games on that console, and it's really where I was introduced to my favorite game series of all times, which is Kingdom Hearts. So, PlayStation 2, I would say, is my favorite of the past, and currently I am really loving the Xbox One. Though the Nintendo Switch, which I currently have as well, is really great, and I really enjoy the PlayStation 4 as well. So there's just so many great consoles. It's truly amazing. And then News to Astonish, you have great content. Soon enough, we'll be able to have panels at cons and interact with people. Hell yeah, man. That's the way to think about it. 100%. I can't wait for this channel and your channel and all the channels of the friends I have channels here to continue to grow. Sorry if I'm moving around a lot. I just feel like I don't really know what to do. I'm usually sitting down when I'm doing these videos, and these videos are usually edited. All right, so the next question from Benny-Wan Kenobi is, what era/timeline do you hope the next Star Wars movies or trilogy explore? Well, they recently announced that the Project Luminous thing that they've been renouncing for Star Wars is going to be this new publication of these books and comics that are going to be in the High Republic. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it takes place a few hundred years prior to the Phantom Menace, so we are going to get a little bit away from the Skywalkers, even though Yoda could technically still appear. And yeah, I'm excited because something tells me that they're going to be doing all of this, and it's kind of going to lead us into what the next movies are. Of course, I think all of us want to see the Old Republic, and I think Lucasfilm knows that, right? They have to know that at this point, that there's just a huge fan base that is just clamoring for the Old Republic, and it's definitely something I'm excited to check out whenever they do. But yeah, if there's a specific timeline, I'm open to whatever, man. I think that's why I love Star Wars so much, because you can have stuff like the Phantom Menace where you have Jar Jar Binks running around, but then you can have stuff like The Force Awakens that's a little darker with Kylo Ren, and then you can have stuff like Empire, and you can have stuff like Revenge of the Sith, and you can have stuff like the Clone Wars or Rebels or even Resistance that's a lot more kid-friendly, but it's a good time. It's not the best Star Wars show, but I enjoy it. And then you can have stuff like Mandalorian. So honestly, they could do whatever. They can make me a Star Wars movie where Vader is like literally just living a day in the life of Vader on the Death Star, going to like the Death Star vending machine and buying like some space chips, and I'd be all for it, to be honest. So big thanks to Benny-Wan for that question. The next question I have here is from Cinematic Tendencies. I don't know if you're still watching, but I'm going to answer your question right here. He said, favorite burger joint. Man, that's tough. That's tough. I love burgers. I actually had a burger this morning, and I had a burger yesterday. I'm really easy when it comes to burgers. I can go to a fast food joint, or I can do things like, something a little more fancy, or something like a Five Guys I always enjoy, even though they're really fucking greasy. But man, I'm trying to think of something that really sticks out. He says, I love BurgerFi. Yeah, BurgerFi is bomb, dude. I love BurgerFi. Though I find they're a little pricey sometimes for what they are. Is that just me? I don't know. Either way, I do thoroughly enjoy burgers on an overall level, and I don't really know that there's a favorite that I have, but I'll think about it as I'm doing this. And then his next question was, what are your top 3 most anticipated movies of 2020? Man, tough. I would have to look at a list. I'd have to look at a list right now of everything that's coming out this year, because I can't remember everything that's coming out this year right off the top of my head. But I would definitely say that, the Black Widow movie is definitely one of them. I was excited to see Invisible Man. That would have definitely been one of them, because I'm a huge fan of the original monster movies, the Universal monster movies. I don't know if it's visible here. Where is it? No, it's down here. But I have the whole monster collection of all of the original Universal monster movies. So that was something I was so excited to check out, and then of course I missed out on it. So that would definitely be one of them. But I don't know how to give you like a top 3, man. I'm so sorry. Again, I'm the worst at this. Let me see some of these comments right here. Have you ever thought of doing some gaming on your channel? I did do a video with no audio or no vocal audio of me playing Overwatch at one point where I was doing terrible. So I definitely want to do more. I'm actually thinking about doing the entirety of the campaign of Star Wars Battlefront 2 with my commentary. I feel like because it's canon, there's definitely some interesting connections to Palpatine, and could give some context to some of you who maybe don't play video games and would like to kind of be able to just watch it cinematically and have me give the commentary on it. So if that's something you guys are interested in, definitely comment. But that's something that I'm looking to do as far as video games, and then maybe just some online gameplay of games like Overwatch or maybe like Star Wars Battlefront or the new Call of Duty. What are your thoughts on Taika Waititi taking over future Star Wars films? I think he's only going to be doing one, from what I understand, but I'm excited. I did really enjoy Thor Ragnarok, and I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit yet, but I think he's really great. I love what he did with the finale of I love what he did with the finale of The Mandalorian. So I do have a lot of trust in him as a visual director. I just recently have been watching the Gallery Mandalorian documentary series. If you guys aren't checking that out, it's on Disney Plus. They're releasing them week by week. There's only 2 episodes right now, but it's just like a documentary series, the behind the scenes making of The Mandalorian. And if you guys didn't already know this, Taika Waititi played IG-11, obviously the IG droid that's in there, and he also directed the final episode. And so I just think he has a great job visually with directing things. He does such a great job of keeping things serious and grounded while also having a lot of levity, and I really do enjoy that about him as a director. So I would be really excited to see what he does overall. Willie Lasante, what's going on, man? How's it going? Star Wars Holiday Special, definitely on my list. I wanted to do it amongst all of my Star Wars reviews that I was doing at the very end of this last year, but then I just realized that I was giving you guys nothing but Star Wars, and I wanted to kind of dip my toes in some other things. So very soon I will be getting back to Star Wars. Now that the Clone Wars is over and the Mandalorian is over, I will be getting back to Star Wars to do the Holiday Special, as well as the 2 atrocious Ewok films, so you guys can look out for that. And yeah, news to astonish, yeah, they're definitely pricey, BurgerFi for sure. Willie's Lasante, that Popeye chicken sandwich is like crack. Dude, it 110% is. I don't know what it is. It's such a basic sandwich, right? There's like really nothing on it. And I'm not a pickles guy, so I don't get pickles on it either. So it has even less on it. And I don't know what it is. It doesn't really need much, but it's just a good, crunchy chicken sandwich. I don't think it was worth people getting stabbed and, waiting in line for hours, but I do enjoy it anytime I stop by Popeyes. Cats 2. I'd watch Cats 2, man. That first movie was a movie, man. It was definitely a movie. I enjoyed it when I went and checked it out for what it was, but it wasn't a good movie. I had a good laugh with it. It's definitely not a fantastic movie. If you guys are interested, I did review Cats here on this channel. You can find it in my movie reviews playlist. But I would be interested to see a Cats 2 just because of how ridiculous that first one was, though it was not a good movie. I'm glad I have a BurgerFi over by me, which I also do. And you hear about the Marvel shows and Disney Plus shows delayed. Yeah, I did hear about that. I know that, I recently saw something about the fact that WandaVision is already completed the filming, so I don't know if they're doing any of the post-production stuff right now. But, whenever something's delayed for me, I don't know if it's just me, but I just feel like there's an abundance of content coming out right now between Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and the various other streaming services. Apple, we have the HBO Max series, streaming service coming out very soon, and then video games, and there's just so much content that whenever something's delayed, I personally don't care. I just don't feel like it's worth caring. I think that I'd rather them take their time to make the product, because in the end of the day, I'm going to watch it over and over and over again, and I'd rather them spend their time on the show or whatever it is, movie, video game, whatever, and I don't really mind when it takes a long time. So yeah, that's going to be probably my answer on that right there. Gallery is great. Have you seen Prop Culture? I have not seen Prop Culture, but I definitely want to check it out because it looks really good as well. Cinematic Tendency says, still here, but I didn't ask you about your favorite burger joint. Yeah, you did, man. Here, I'll show you right now. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I don't know if you can see that. Oh no, it's not focusing. But that's you, man. Cinematic Tendency. Favorite burger joint. This was 2 months ago, though, man. So you very well could have asked me and have no idea that you asked me or completely forgot. Because then you also asked me what are your top 3 most anticipated movies of 2020. But if you forgot it, it's all right. No worries. Let's see. Danny's Game Zone asks, would you be able to eat a 4-pound burrito in one sitting? Absolutely not. And I would feel terrible afterwards, but I would save it and I would maybe eat a pound or and a half, maybe a pound and a half. Manda1771, he's got 5 questions. First one, how do you rank the DCEU? All right, Favorite DCEU movie, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, Justice League, the new Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie, Suicide Squad. Actually, hold on. Wonder Woman. What did I say? Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, Shazam. I forgot about Shazam. I'd say those are the top three. I would say my least favorite out of all of them would probably be the Batman vs. Superman. I think for me that movie just was 3 hours long. It's got beautiful visuals, fantastic acting, and fantastic action, and just beautiful visuals. It's a fantastic spectacle of a movie, but I just feel like the meat and potatoes of the story just feels like a little lackluster for me. There's still stuff that there's kind of, I guess you could say, just very convenient in the storytelling. You guys can check out my review for that where I got into it a little bit more. But yeah, that would be my favorite and my least favorite. He also asked, ever consider doing a ranking of the MCU? Dude, that would just take me forever. Like I've mentioned in this video already, I just suck with ranking anything. Ranking things in general is just terrible for me. I'm not good at it because my opinions are always changing. You know, Star Wars is like my favorite thing of all time, and I can't rank it ever. I always say my favorite is Empire Strikes Back, but it's really whatever I'm feeling in the moment. You know, so that's why I never really rank anything. He also asked, what is your favorite movie of 2019? Like I said before, probably Endgame or Rise of Skywalker. Endgame being the better movie, so I'd probably say that one. He also said, what movie do you look forward to the most in 2020? Probably the Black Widow movie. I'll say that. Ever seen Con Air? Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to rewatch it and do a review here on this channel. What else we got here for you? I think that's your last question. Thank you for your questions, Manda1771. I do really appreciate it. And then the last question I have in here, and then I'll answer some questions here on the screen, is who is your favorite actor or actress from Interpreting the Stars? My boy, Interpreting the Stars. Interpreting the Stars and I, and Trav Tries, we're going to be doing a video very soon where we're going to be reviewing the 2005 King Kong, so you guys can look out for that very soon. But yeah, his question was my favorite actor or actress. For a long time, it was Johnny Depp, and I think Johnny Depp is still one of my favorites. I used to really love Michael Sheen as well, but it's constantly changing, man. I think, again, there's just we have lived in such a time of abundance. There's so much, it's oversaturated, right? And that's not a bad thing for me personally, because I feel like I'm never bored anymore. I feel like I'm constantly able to watch something, play something, be a part of something, and it's something that's exciting to me, right? But at the same time, I also recognize that it makes it hard for me to be able to really pick favorites about anything. So as far as my favorite actor, on an overall level, it's tough. I really love everybody that's in the MCU. I really love everybody who's in Star Wars. There's got recent actors that have really just impressed me. I'd say Adam Driver. Again, I just love what he's done in the Star Wars movies. Marriage Story, Black Klansman. The dude is just incredibly talented. If you guys have seen Silence, I believe it's called, the Martin Scorsese film with Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield's another one. I really love what he did in Hacksaw Ridge. I haven't reviewed that yet, but he's a really fantastic actor. And there's just so many actors that are constantly blowing me away. I guess on like a appeal level, like an actor that when I see him in something, I'm just like, oh, I gotta watch this immediately, is Harrison Ford. Just love him, even though I did miss Call of the Wild, but I am looking forward to checking that out. But yeah, that's the end of the questions that I had to answer from 2 months ago. I'll go ahead and answer some stuff here on the screen. First of all, big thanks to any of you who have been watching this, or any of you who just sat through this that are watching this later down the line. I do really appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I'm actually surprised that I've been able to continue talking without saying or kind of stuttering over my words more than I already have. I really do appreciate all of you guys. You guys are so awesome, and this channel has been so much fun to be able to be a part of and be able to just kind of share my thoughts on movies with you guys, and more than anything, be able to discuss stuff with you guys. And the fact that there's enough of you guys watching that are part of this right now makes me excited to want to do this with you guys more often. So I do really want to say thank you to each of you who is watching. It says that there's 7 of you guys watching. There could have been 1 of you guys watching, and there could have been nobody watching, and I would have still been acting the same way and saying thank you to all of you. So for those who are watching, 8 people watching, I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. So let's answer some of your stuff right here. Okay, super belated, but there's a place called Burgers and Beer in Yuma, Arizona that was like the best burgers I've ever eaten in my life. It's pretty far out, but if you make it out there, try it. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Burgers and Beers in Yuma, Arizona. I've never heard of that, but for sure, I'll definitely look into that. What MCU movie would you say is the best for Wolverine to make his first appearance? I think just at this point, right, with the different movies that we've gotten that have just been so awesome, and just the intercrossing of these characters and interconnection of the story, I would really honestly love to see him appear in a Hulk film. I think that I loved all the stuff with Hulk and Wolverine in the comics. I love when they battle out, and being able to see Wolverine appear in the first solo Hulk movie since obviously the Incredible Hulk that we got with Edward Norton. But the first one with Mark Ruffalo as the lead actor, I think that'd be really cool, because you can really bounce back and forth. You can almost do like a Captain America Civil War-esque tension between Wolverine and Hulk, and I would love to see that go down, especially with Hulk being a little bit smarter now. I feel like the dialogue could be there, the humor could be there, and if you got the right director and the right writer, it could be a lot of fun. So I think that'd be pretty cool. Willie Lasante says, Man of Steel was cool, but those last 20 minutes, I kept hearing State Farm commercials. Yeah, there's definitely some product placement. And Man of Steel wasn't like the most phenomenal movie of all time, but I think it's just like visually really cool. I think it's got some of the best action that we've ever seen from a Superman movie, and it's just kind of like visually one of my favorite of the Superman movies on an overall level. And I really enjoy Henry Cavill as the character, even though some people think he's a little bit too mopey, but I enjoy the different interpretation of the character. As far as the whole thing with, I kept hearing a State Farm commercial. Have you guys ever seen the more recent Power Rangers movie that came out? In that movie, there's just so much product placement for Krispy Kreme. It is ridiculous. So if you guys have seen that, you guys would know what I'm talking about. Let's see, any 2021 movies that you're excited about? Again, I'd have to look at the list, and since everything's being pushed back and delayed, things like Fast and the Furious, now it's coming back to me. Mulan, Fast and the Furious are some of the movies I was really excited to see. A Quiet Place, and this is all coming back to me. There's just so many movies that were pushed back to next year that I'm definitely excited to check out when they do finally come out, that were supposed to come out this year. So yeah, that'll probably be my answer for that. I remember now. I asked you that. Cinematic Tendencies remembers that he asked me about the burger joint, and he goes, I thought the questions were about during the live chat, or like during the live chat. I see what you're saying. No, I was just going back and answering questions from a while back when you guys asked me questions. So, sorry it took me so long to get to those questions. News to Astonish, have you seen the SNL skit, Undercover Boss, Kylo Ren featuring Adam Driver? Yes, I love it. The first one they did, and the second one, the whole thing with Matt, the radar technician, and then the intern. I see that Prodigy said that as well. I love that so much. I think it's so funny. And what I think is super cool about that, right, is I've been going to Star Wars Celebration. I have tickets to go this year as well in Anaheim in California. But, I'm still waiting to hear if it's going to be canceled. I almost feel like it should be. But, obviously I'll just wait. But I was at the last one in Chicago, and I was at the one before that. What was the one before that? I think the one before that was in Orlando, here in Orlando, which I also went to, and I've gone to a bunch of the Star Wars celebrations, and it was really awesome to see at the last one in Orlando, there was a bunch of people, even in not the last one in Orlando, but the last one in Chicago, and the one before that in Orlando, there was a bunch of people dressed up as Map, the radar tech, so I am excited to see if anybody does the intern cosplay. And what's even cool after that is that they ended up adding that technician uniform, the orange, kind of like vest and everything that he was wearing in that sketch. They ended up adding that into Star Wars Resistance, the animated series that just wrapped up. It only had two seasons, and it's on Disney Plus. It's the more kiddie of the Star Wars shows, but it is pretty cool. It's during the sequel trilogy, and it ties into The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and all that jazz. But there's an episode where two characters that are the main characters of the show have to go undercover on a First Order ship, and they actually are wearing the orange suits, and they're trying to pretend like they're technicians. So I love that they took that from there and they added it into canon with these characters. I thought that was pretty funny. I like the different approach they went with Man of Steel, almost as good as Christopher Reeve movies. Yeah, I think some people will definitely agree or disagree. I enjoy all of them. I think that for me, what I had to get past when I was growing up was we were getting this abundance of comic book movies, and a lot of people's criticisms were like, oh, that wasn't like the comics. And for me, I just want to see an adaptation, right? So, I love what they did with the original Superman movies with Christopher Reeves. I think my least favorite Superman movie is probably Superman Returns with Brandon Routh, though I really enjoy Brandon Routh. But yeah, Man of Steel, again, it just felt like a different interpretation of the character and that world, and I really enjoyed that. Cinematic Tendencies, I don't think many people watch Silence. I did watch it in theaters. I liked it overall. Yeah, I missed it in theaters. I watched it afterwards. I thought it was incredibly well acted. I enjoyed it as overall. It wasn't my favorite Martin Scorsese film, but I enjoyed Adam Driver and Andrew Garfield in that movie for sure. News to Ashanis, chocolate or vanilla? Depends what we're talking about. If we're talking about ice cream, like just regular ice cream, maybe vanilla. If we're talking about something like a shake or something like that, maybe chocolate. He goes, that's so cool, Matt, that Radar Tech is officially canon in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, it's not him specifically that's canon, but it's his vest. They took it and they added it as like a thing, like those techs. Now the techs of the First Order wear those orange things. I think that's hilarious. I love that they did that. Because it makes it all just feel like they're having fun with it, right? Anytime I hear people criticize, real quick, I have to comment. Iran Pagan, my cousin, he just commented on here saying, "I want my Obi-Wan Kenobi cardboard cutout back." I can't speak right now. Yeah, so this was my cousin's cutout, and then his mom gave it to me. I think she got it from a supermarket. There's somebody's name on the back with like a phone number. And dude, I'll be honest, dude, this has been sitting in my garage, my mom's garage, for like the last 2 years. And it is, dude, I don't want to tilt this down, but right down here at the center, it's like all destroyed and all like I got to get a new stand up. So if you want it back, I can, but it's old and it's kind of messed up. Plus, knowing you'll probably throw it away. So I don't want to do that. But yeah, let me see. Did you know? Did not know that, but glad he is news. Oh, okay, gotcha. But yeah, guys, I just want to say a big thanks to all of you guys who have been watching. I answered all the questions for that I needed to answer from before. If you guys have any other questions or anything you just want to talk about, feel free to comment. I'll stay on here for a few more minutes, but I'm probably going to wrap this up soon. I appreciate all of you guys who watched. If you watched this after the fact as like an archived video, I also really appreciate that. I will be doing live streams like this more often. I appreciate all of you who have been a part of this. I feel like it's really cool to see that some of you guys were a part of this. I honestly 100% thought I was going to answer these questions on camera, unedited, and just kind of just move on. I maybe expected 1 or 2 people to stop by. So the fact that it's kind of teetered between 6 to 9 people in this, and now some of you guys have commented and been a part of it, I really do appreciate that. Again, there's a lot of content coming out. I have reviews for King Kong 2005 coming. I have reviews for The Devil's Rejects coming. I have reviews for the Expendables series coming. I have so many more reviews. And again, you guys also look out for reviews like the rest of the Rush Hour series. I'm going to be doing the Star Wars special, holiday special, as well as the Ewok Star Wars film. So look out for those. I'll buy the popcorn. Says, "Hey, happy Sunday. I'm glad that I caught this live. Hey, how's it going? I appreciate you stopping by. I'm almost wrapping this up actually, so feel free to go back and check it out. But if you guys have any other questions or things you want to comment, feel free to. Iran says, what happened to the lightsaber that's missing on that stand? So I was talking about earlier the fact that I just moved in. It's actually sitting right over there, and it's still in the box. I just set this up. Behind this camera is a bunch of boxes and just disaster. So the apartment is not 100% set up yet, but I'll definitely be changing this background as time goes on. There'll be better lighting. I'm actually standing up right now. I usually do the seated, so soon enough I'll have seats. And you know, something will be a little bit different here. I'll probably have more going on the shelf behind me, and the lightsaber will be up here. I don't know if I want to put my Vader lightsaber up here or my Kylo Ren lightsaber up here, so let me know which you would prefer to see. But yeah, that's the answer to that, Junior. Prada just says, I'll make sure to show up more on your content because I appreciate you showing up on my content and for some of my request reviews too. Yeah, man, for sure. I appreciate you. I appreciate going to check out your channel. And that's kind of the fun part about YouTube, right? Is I've met so many other people on this platform that are smaller creators as well, and they're just trying to have fun with this. You know, there's so many big creators that do this for a living and for money. But yeah, you know, I think the real fun about this is being able to connect with smaller channels and be able to do all that great stuff. So yeah, man, for sure, I appreciate you, and I'll definitely be checking out your content more. News to Astonish. All right, man, happy Mother's Day. Got to get ready for my live stream. Have a great night and stay safe. Yeah, man, I'll probably stop by on your live stream. Sorry, I've been a little bit behind on watching your live streams. I end up watching them after the fact. I know that you've recently been doing Life is Strange, right? If I'm not mistaken, which the second one, but the one that's a prequel, if I'm not mistaken, which I did play a few years back, and I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, but I am curious to see what your thoughts are when I go back and check out your live stream. And then my cousin said, Vader, Kylo Ren's lightsaber is booty. I don't agree, man. His lightsaber is pretty cool, but I don't know if it'll fit up there. But I do agree Vader's lightsaber is definitely cooler. So, all right, guys, that's probably going to wrap this up. I appreciate any... can't edit this video, but appreciate each and every single one of you guys for watching this. Again, if any of you who commented and were a part of this, definitely appreciate it. News to Asanish says, yep, tonight I'll be live streaming the Spider-Man PS4 for my mom. She loves Spider-Man. Cool, man. Yeah, definitely. That game looks stunning. That's the worst part about not having a PlayStation. Honestly, I can miss out on a lot of games. I don't really care. I don't really feel the need to be like, oh, I need to play that exclusive. But that Spider-Man game for me feels like highway robbery, man. How are you going to make... It's one thing to have games like God of War or Uncharted or even the Final Fantasy be exclusive to PlayStation. But the fact that Spider-Man was exclusive to PlayStation feels criminal. There's so many Spider-Man fans. He's such a huge character. And the fact that he's not on Xbox, that game... pisses me off. It pisses me off 100%. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you all for chiming in and just being a part of this. And if you guys watch it after the fact, definitely leave comments. I'll definitely be checking this out. And I'll see each and every single one of you in the next video. Bye-bye. And I say bye-bye, but I still have to find a way to do this.